If you're watching this video, you're probably wondering how the cheaper Incogni stacks up against the oldest data broker removal service on the market, DeleteMe. That means you already know what an utter pain in the butt these data broker websites are. So I'm going to save my rant against these skeezy data broker websites for another video, and I'll tell you at the top, if you're comparing Incogni and DeleteMe, you should know that DeleteMe is going to be a better service for most people, but there is one exception to this, and I'll get to that later in the video. As always, I've got discount links to both services available in the video description below. If you go through those, it helps support our channel at no additional cost to you. In fact, often you get a discount, and we certainly appreciate your support. Let's start by discussing sign up. When signing up for both of these services, you are going to have to provide them with personal information. There's no way around this. If you don't provide that information to them, they can't do their job. In my opinion, the trade is well worth it, because in exchange for populating your dashboard with personal information, you can be quite confident that most, not all, but most of your information is going to be scrubbed from the internet. Now, can you do this yourself? Yes, of course. But doing so would take literal months of work finding all the data broker websites where your information is appearing and then submitting takedown requests on each of those websites, some of which, like these guys, are not particularly eager to comply with. So rather than taking the free but really slow and painful approach, I recommend just going with the service. Signing up with both of these services is fast, takes less than 10 minutes on average. Incogni has a faster sign-up process overall, but as I'll be explaining right now, that's actually not a good thing. The reason signing up with Incogni is so fast is because they're not asking for that much personal information about you. They ask for one email address, your name, a birth date, and that's about it. DeleteMe, on the other hand, requests all sorts of information. There's even a field where you can upload a photo of your current driver's license. I know many of you watching this, you really don't want to submit any more of your personal information to yet another third party, but if you want these services to be effective, the more information you can give them, the better. So I like the fact that DeleteMe asked for not just a current address, but past addresses as well. It asked for any email addresses I use, not just my primary. And this made me confident that DeleteMe was going to do a good job of building a profile of who Brandon, me, is. Whichever of these two services you sign up for, you should know that it's going to take about a week for you to get your initial report. According to my first report with DeleteMe, they reviewed 3,610 listings and removed me from 57 of them. And Incogni says that they sent out 123 requests and completed 60 of them. Now, these numbers might look similar at a glance, but I'll tell you they're actually deceptive. And this goes back to those onboarding questions that DeleteMe asked me and Incogni didn't. I think by virtue of asking more and more detailed questions, DeleteMe built up a better picture of who I am. And that makes me very confident that the 57 listings that DeleteMe managed to remove on my behalf, those were actually listings with my personal information, whereas the 60 or so listings that Incogni claims to have removed, I suspect some of them were not actually for me. And I know that if you're watching this video, it's because you're smart and you probably have this question of how am I testing DeleteMe and Incogni fairly in an apples-to-apples comparison? If I sign up for DeleteMe first, aren't they removing listings that Incogni is then not going to have the opportunity to remove? Good question, glad you asked. What I did is this: I first signed up for DeleteMe in 2022. I used it for a year and then I canceled it. I let my information reappear as it was reharvested by data brokers. And then, and only then, after having a lapse in service of well over 6 months, did I enlist Incogni to remove my personal information from the internet. Things I do for you guys. Both Incogni and DeleteMe have well-designed dashboards. DeleteMe definitely has a more premium feel. Your privacy reports are going to come in PDF form, and they really feel like a report, whereas Incogni is just going to email you a templated email. Small thing, but points to DeleteMe for better branding here. DeleteMe also has better coverage than Incogni. So DeleteMe claims to scan 750 websites and remove your personal information from them. Incogni, at the time that I'm making this video, only has 159 data broker websites that they remove you from. I also give DeleteMe points for having a custom removal request feature. Basically, this allows you to perform a search from within DeleteMe and then manually flag any results that you want the DeleteMe team to go ahead and remove for you. Incogni doesn't yet offer this feature. DeleteMe also has an email masking tool that might be of interest to some of you watching this video. So far, DeleteMe has accrued a lot of points. Incogni hasn't seemed to win on any one area, but that changes here a bit. Where Incogni does a better job than DeleteMe is in providing context about the sites that it's removing you from. So while DeleteMe is going to send you reports in PDF format, Incogni features these dynamic filters that you see on the screen here, so that if you wanted to hone in on, say, private databases with a severity score of high and a request status of in progress, you would be able to do that. You can also see that Incogni provides a bit of context here about each of the sites that it's removing you from. There's not complete overlap between any one of these products. DeleteMe is going to remove you from some listings that Incogni doesn't, and vice versa. Incogni is also going to help remove you not just from people's search sites, but from some private databases that are used for marketing. That said, Incogni doesn't cover some of the most basic people search sites like Radaris and Spokeo. So Incogni gets a point here for novelty and better usability thanks to its web filters, but the reality is that DeleteMe simply has a larger, better database of sites that it's removing your personal information from. But by this point in the video, it should be clear that DeleteMe overall is the better product than Incogni, but there are a few areas where Incogni really shines. For one, you don't need to be a US citizen to use Incogni. Citizens from these countries can use Incogni, whereas only Americans can sign up for DeleteMe. Second, Incogni updates their dashboard once monthly, whereas DeleteMe is limited to once quarterly updates. And third, you can sign up for a monthly plan with Incogni and cancel at any time, whereas with DeleteMe, your only option is to sign up and pay annually. Which brings me to pricing. Of the two services, Incogni is the cheaper option. For an individual plan paid annually, you'll pay $649 a month compared to $1075 a month with DeleteMe. So that's going to come out to $77.88 a year with Incogni compared to $129 a year with DeleteMe. And remember, with Incogni, you have that option to pay monthly. So if you just wanted to trial the service by using one of our discount links in the video description below, sorry, shameless plug, you could do that and you could cancel at any time. If you do go that route of paying monthly, it's going to be a little more expensive. It's going to come out to $12.98 a month, but again, you can cancel at any time. Family plans with Incogni, they're also quite a bit lower than with DeleteMe. So Incogni, they're $16.49 a month. Whereas with DeleteMe, they're going to come out to $27.42 a month. So after comparing these services extensively side by side, my verdict is this: DeleteMe is a better product overall. If you have the cash, go with DeleteMe. If you don't, if you're on a budget and you just want to test one of these services for a month or two, go with Incogni. It's a good data broker removal service. DeleteMe is a great one. Discounts available in the video description below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in this video here. Cheers.